a world where power means everything, and a lack of it makes you the laughingstock of the masses, certain special people are blessed to have this power by pure chance. These people are called hunters. Some are incredibly powerful, while some are no different from ordinary humans. Our protagonist, Sung Jin-woo, finds himself as the weakest hunter of them all. A hunter so weak that there is barely any difference between him and a regular human. To be honest, the way that he is portrayed, I would bet that a regular human is stronger than him. But because he has to make a living, he can't help but go on jobs where he has to risk his life on the daily, just so that he can get by. It's a sad and dangerous life, but it's one which he must keep on living. That is, if he wants his sister to continue studying and his mother to continue living. One thing that is pretty unique about the world of solo leveling is that the characters cannot get stronger, with a few exceptions here and there, the biggest of them being our boy Sung Jin-woo. At the end of a special dungeon, he pretty much died, but literally moments before the time of his death, a weird video game menu appeared and it saved his life. In return, he became the player, which is the only hunter in the world who can get stronger, and hence begun the story of Sung Jin-woo, the solo guy capable of leveling up, or should I say, the guy capable of solo leveling. And that's how Jin-woo went from being the weakest hunter of all mankind to the strongest one, all in the span of roughly 2 months. But the question is, was it worth it? On the surface, it looks pretty obvious that it was. I mean, he got to be the strongest guy in possibly the entire world. What is not worth it about that? Well, I think it's not that simple. Beneath the high of being the strongest, there lies something much deeper. A sadness largely unexplored in the anime, because well, it is all about the high of being the strongest. You know how I said that he has to continue being a hunter because he has to take care of his sister's education and his mom's hospital bills? Yeah, the hospital bills were just to keep his mom alive. She had a disease called the eternal sleep, which is pretty self-explanatory and has no known cures. Guess what? The system gave Sung Jin-woo a chance to obtain the elixir of life, which was essentially a cure to every ailment in existence. Pretty convenient, right? There was a slight caveat to it though. It was locked behind a dungeon with 100 floors, each floor being tougher than the last. If Jin-woo wanted a chance at getting that elixir, he really would have had to get way stronger so that he can clear all the floors. And so he does. He gets stronger and stronger, and before you know it, he's done it. He's got the elixir. The moment when he wakes his mom up after she's been out for 4 years, oh my god, it's beautiful. Seeing our favorite aura farmer ugly cry was definitely not on my bucket list, but it should have been. It must have felt so great for him to finally let all those emotions out which he had kept pent up for so long. And I really mean it. It was that beautiful. The scene was everything you could have asked for, considering that solo leveling is not exactly an emotional anime. But it did feel a little undeserved, if you know what I mean. By anime standards, it takes a lot of episodes for something this big to occur. Just look at Attack on Titan, a series which has relatively great pacing. This doesn't take away from the impact of the scene though, but I feel like I should mention it. But when he goes back home and treats his mother with a very warm welcome back present of letting her clean the house, he notices something odd about himself. He was at a weird kind of unease. What line was that, and how exactly is it affecting him? Was it the line of killing another human being? Or was it just witnessing just so much gore in general that it has started haunting him? Or did he start liking the violence? Did he start liking the power he has over his enemies? I don't know, but whatever line it was, it didn't seem like something desirable. When Jin-woo was talking with Esil about the upper floors of the dungeon, he asked her, and I think that says a lot about Jin-woo's perception of the world. Have you noticed how he is different from the other S ranks, or other people in general? Apart from being the strongest, of course, he feels very distant to everyone. He doesn't talk to anyone, he doesn't seem to care about anyone, with a few exceptions obviously. Why do you think that is? I personally think it's because Jin-woo knows that the world is kind to him only because he is strong. You see, he's one of the only few people in the world who knows what it's like to be both weak and strong, since everyone just retains the same power level from their awakening for their entire life. And I think the reason that he doesn't seem to be interested in any of the hunters is because he knows that they wouldn't be interested in him if he was weak. Which, let's be honest, is probably true. All this stuff made me realize something. Something sad. Our world is not all that different from solo leveling's. I mean, except the monsters and the magic and all that crap. I mean it in the sense that power means a lot here too. Just look how absolute idiots have such a huge amount of glazers just because of their powers. Certain people who are at the top of the world right now have absolutely no right to be there, at least in my opinion. But they are, and that's incredibly tragic for us. People don't realize it though. All the dictators in the world are at the top solely because of their power. The only difference is, while physical and magical power is the key to success in solo leveling, in our world it is more like political and financial power, and if I had to choose the lesser evil between the two worlds, I'm afraid it will be the former. It may be a fault of my perspective though, and the world isn't actually like this. But I disagree, and I really hope I'm wrong. I would also like to talk about Juhi Lee, one of the members of Jimu's early dungeon parties. When Juhi decides that she won't be a part of Jimu's life anymore, that was very sad. She was the only one who was with Jimu through the lowest of the lows. The way she treated Jimu was basically screaming love. At times it felt like romantic love, at other times it felt like motherly love. Regardless, the love she had for him was purer than Heisenberg's methamphetamines. I was devastated by the fact that she won't be a part of his life anymore. Finding someone to love you is incredibly lucky in and of itself. But finding someone to love you the way Juhi did to Jimu? That's better than winning $1 billion lottery, I must say. It felt like such a huge loss when they parted ways. Regardless, I am sure that both of them will be fine. Juhi is a really kind and compassionate person who is also a B rank healer. And Jimu is, well, Jimu. I just wish they had been fine together, you know? If I were to sum up Juhi's sentiment in one sentence, it would be, I love you very, very much, but I don't have the strength in me to walk the path that you chose. Really tragic, but beautiful nonetheless. I'm not too invested in fictional characters, am I? Let me know in the comments down below. Beneath all the crazy monsters, the aura farming, the absolute bustedness of Sung Jin Woo, there lies a story that is deep and meaningful, or at least parts of it are. It's a little bit tricky to explore the layers behind solo leveling as there is not that much material to work with. But yet, I can't help but notice the little things that make it more than the bland power fantasy most people make it out to be. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, drop a sub. It means a lot. Also, check out the Tom to this video's Jerry, the Yin to this video's Yang, the Black to its White, the X to its Y. I've released 2 videos at the same time which complement each other in a way never before seen on YouTube. I think. Check it out, you might like that one too. If you consistently love my content, consider supporting me on my Patreon. It would help a lot. Thanks.